Hey YouTube, here's Heiko. Again reporting from my garage. Today is December 25th, 2017 in Gardnerville, Nevada. Outside it's cold. Upstairs kids are playing with their slot car racetrack. My wife is playing with that too. Our little guy is pushing his new F100 pickup truck model around, and who knows what the dogs are doing. For us, Christmas is a day of celebration, hanging out with family, just having a good time, remembering Christ. But I'm not telling you how you are supposed to celebrate your Christmas day, or maybe you choose not to and rather consider it a normal day. That's all up to you. Yeah, another year comes to an end almost. A few more days and we're in 2018. So far I have 36 subscribers in my channel. I've had this channel for a while. I've been posting videos very infrequently whenever I have a little DIY project going on, working on my VW bus back there, or I have an older Ford pickup truck that I did transmission rebuild, all kinds of little things that I do as I just live my life here. Have a bunch of small engine equipment that needs fixing, repairing. I help out neighbors, help people out here in the neighborhood. Yeah, and also have a day job. I work in air ambulance, EMS. So, but I am willing. I want to improve my video quality a little bit. And I've ordered a tripod, a tall one, finally. I'm using my Canon FS100 digital camera right now, so I'm staring at my one-eyed friend. I hope the video quality is going to improve with this. I used to make a lot of videos just with my cell phone, but it really just sucks. I mean, if you do a 5-minute video under your car somewhere, probably cell phone is a good choice because it's pretty handy and small, and you know, you can get it in all kinds of small spaces and crevices and whatnot. But yeah, I understand. YouTube videos have to have a certain quality to it, you know. And I follow a bunch of YouTube channels myself. My absolute favorite channel is Musty One. If you have never seen that guy work, it's just incredible. You know, he makes something out of nothing. You know, there's a piece of scrap metal sitting in his garage, some wiring, some stuff, some leftover pieces of a lawnmower, and he turns it into something. You know, he fixes small engine stuff. He fixes VWs. I mean, I definitely have a heart for that. He has some other old timers that he works on infrequently. Has those kind of artsy bikes that he builds. He turns a vintage bicycle and a chainsaw engine into a moped. He does that kind of stuff. Yeah, really cool projects that he pulls off. Long restoration videos, not restoration in the traditional sense to make it all shiny, but he has a VW pickup truck that he calls Krusty, and he just leaves it rusty. He uses toilet seal, you know, the seal that goes between the plumbing and your toilet bowl, the wax ring. He liquefies that by heating it up, and then he rubs it into the rust to stop it from rusting. So this guy is a great inspiration. He's always calm, he's always relaxed. I mean, at least in the videos, you never see any tension when something doesn't work out. Just great videos, you know, very entertaining. This is like my Friday afternoon show that I watch, kind of thing. Always looking forward to his new videos. You know, and I can tell that, you know, he doesn't spend much money on video equipment, like some YouTube channels do. Lighting and, you know, fancy cameras and drones and you name it. Same as here, you know, I'm not gonna go all crazy, but yeah, he's doing such a consistent and good job with that. It's pretty inspirational. You know, then other channels like Wrangler Star, which lately has turned a little bit into more commercial videos because of his strong YouTube following. I don't know exactly, but I want to say 1 million followers on YouTube. A lot of companies are aware of that. So he's a homesteading DIY channel kind of deal, and companies just send him equipment. I don't know if he had to pay for his tractor with a backhoe and a snowblower and a snow blade and a loader, all that stuff, if he had to pay for that, or if it's a sponsored device just so they get their product into his videos. I've no idea. Lately it has turned into a little bit of some commercial channel there on YouTube. Nice videos though, homesteading, I like that. Country style, farming, DIY, woodworking, blogging in the backcountry, that kind of stuff. It's really interesting. If you have never seen a guy make a YouTube video without saying a single word, go to Mr. Chickadee. He's doing mostly woodworking, carpentry, and this entire video you will not see this man say a single word. He just does his project. The video quality is pretty great, and those guys are pretty inspirational. I mean, if I could pull that off in my YouTube channel, maybe I get more than 36 subscribers. I actually had 37 yesterday. I lost someone. Yeah, I understand. I do that too sometimes. I have so many YouTube channels that I kind of liked and then subscribe, and then I never watch a video ever again, and then once in a while I just have to go through my list and it's like, not interested, unsubscribe. That's what I do too. I have a really broad range of interests. For my day job, I fly a helicopter in the air ambulance industry, EMS industry. That's not really something that I can make videos about because, we have non-disclosure agreements and, policies for everything. So I can't really take a camera to work and show you what a EMS helicopter pilot does in the Sierra Nevadas. Maybe here and there I can show a helicopter, a piece of equipment, because it's pretty cool. I mean, a $6 million helicopter, it's kind of nice, but that's my day job. I grew up in Germany, and right out of high school, I was just sick and tired of school, so I went into a vocational education program, and that's pretty strong in Germany. I mean, there is a reason why a lot of people believe that made in Germany products are really well engineered and well built, because there are strong engineers, of course, but there is the workforce that has a really high education standard when it comes to vocational education. So people spend 3.5 years in an apprenticeship situation or a vocational education situation to really learn everything there is to know about this particular field that they are in. So I was trained and then qualified as an industrial mechanic. It's a 3.5 year program. You work 3 days at a company that has their own training department. So in my case, it was a kind of a industrial manufacturing company. They're still around. They have worldwide, they have like 2,000 or 3,000 employees. They have little departments all over the world for customer service. But I was trained at the main facility, which is near my hometown in Germany, and they have a really strong, just a training department. So they have like a shop equipped with all the machinery, mills and lathe and bench press, a drill press, and then workbenches, and they teach you everything there is to know about metal working, welding, hydraulics, pneumatics. Make a miniature machinery or device with your hands out of a piece of steel. Like filing and drilling and milling, and then 2 tolerances. They give you a piece of a drawing, a blueprint, and you have to figure out how to make it, and then they grade you on your quality and all that stuff, and then the other 2 days out of the week you would go to school and get all the theoretical stuff behind the trade, like they call it what is it called, communication, technical communication. like how to create a blueprint for a machine or piece. So we were trained how to make blueprints. Very simple stuff, not like very involved, but like how to draw a thing in different planes so you can understand what that piece is supposed to look like, what the dimensions of that piece are supposed to be, what the surfaces of a piece of metal is supposed to be, what the tolerances are, and all that stuff. So that's what I was trained to be before I joined the German military, and then they trained me how to fly a helicopter, and the rest is history. But yeah, so I have this mechanics background, and I was always really happy when I could work with my hands and just wrench around, and and that has spread out a little bit into carpentry and just general construction. So I mean, I'm a homeowner. I don't hire anyone. I rather educate myself about something that I really am not 100% about, like electrical installation. I know there are limitations to what I'm legally allowed to do as long as I follow code. But whatever I can legally do as a homeowner, by following the local and national codes, I will do myself. And then only, I wouldn't try to install a circuit breaker panel or like a sub panel or something like this. I would probably hire someone, but wiring some lights or outlets, switches, and I make sure that I really know what type of wiring and what type of connections, what type of boxes, and all the ins and outs. Did a lot of that in my younger years over in Germany. Completely gutted and remodeled a few homes, but codes are completely different. The way of building stuff over there is completely different. There's no stick building. There's no lumber and plywood and sheetrock and roof shingles, like composite shingles don't exist. Everything has to last 1,000 years. So every home over there in Germany is built brick, concrete. They have a material that's kind of like a bubbly concrete. Here in the States, they would probably call it aircrete. A home built out of that stuff, highly insulated. They build completely different. There's no 2x4s. Everything is metric, of course. We don't use the standard system. So I grew up metric, and the last 10 years here in the States doing work on my own home and shed, and and on American vehicles and whatnot, I had to completely learn the standard system, which I don't have a problem with. If you look into it, if you're not opposed, if you're like, oh, metric system is the only thing that I can use, I'm happy to pick up a tape measure with standard measurements on it. I have no problem doing the fractions and whatnot. I mean, of course, I'm not going to be as quick with it than someone who grew up in the trade and used standard all day long. But, if you're interested, if you want to learn, it's possible. And like I said, if you get some sort of technical training in a trade, you can do that in one trade. You can learn about everything. I'm not a pro welder. I had some welding classes back in the days, like we're talking about 20 years ago. I think I can still pick up a stick welder and retrain myself and freshen up on my knowledge. I mean, MIG welding is that's what everybody does because it's so easy, relatively. So what am I trying to say with this? I don't work in any trade anymore. This is now just all hobby and kind of on the side jobs for other people and whatnot. I get stuff off of Craigslist and then repair it and sell it on, kind of deal, as a hobby, really. Only when I have time. I mean, between family and day job, there's not much time left. I have a pretty well-equipped shop, and I will, over time, make little videos on what type of equipment and tools I use. Of course, I didn't come up with all those ideas myself. It's not like all genuine thoughts by Heiko. It's just, what I learned from YouTube. A lot of stuff you can learn through watching YouTube videos. I love it. I think it's a great tool. What I don't like about YouTube is, people bickering and complaining and, oh, I can't believe you did this because that's so silly and you should have done it that way. But, sometimes you're in a situation, you're working on something and you're just not, making the connection. Of course, there's always a better way. There's always a more professional way, always a more professional outcome of working on a project. But at least people trying to make something or work on something and enjoying it on the way, that's the most important part. So it doesn't always turn out as professional as a professional would do it. But I gotta say, there are a lot of so-called professionals out there that really don't know what they're doing. I've seen car mechanics. Because I've seen them, I'm not going to any car mechanic anymore. I'm my own car mechanic. I invested in all the tools that I need. I've bought, tools for jobs that I will probably only do once in my life. Like next to me is a transmission jack. I don't think I'm going to do that many transmission rebuild jobs because it's a lot of work, and the more often you would do it, the faster you get, and you know exactly which parts to order ahead of time, kind of like you have a shopping list ready. If you build Ford C6 3-speed automatic transmissions every day, you know how to do that. For me, it took quite a while, and then I'm kind of like a wannabe perfectionist. So whatever I do, it needs to turn out, or else I'm upset with myself, and so everything takes pretty long just because I want it done right. I want it done, last 100 years and all that kind of good stuff. So when the few times in my life or here in the States the last 10 years that I actually have hired people to do something, I'm like behind them. I'm like the supervisor. I'm like the foreman, standing behind them, watching over their shoulder, correcting them when I don't like what they're doing. It's kind of a problem for me sometimes because I just can't relax. I just can't have people work on my house or on my things and not be in control what's going on. So that's kind of control freakish. I don't know how to get rid of this. Maybe never. Will never happen, but I try. When you hire someone to install we have a solar thermal system on the roof that heats our usable water. So instead of having everything heat by the water heater down here in the garage, there's a solar panel where the water gets pumped through, heated up by the sun kind of deal. When that was installed, they were probably happy when they finally got done with it and got out of here, because I was behind them on the roof, standing behind them and like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, that roof check installation doesn't look right. Let me do that. So that's how I roll. That's why I have to do everything myself. It's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. If you have, how many vehicles do we own? 4. Yeah, not counting the lawn tractor. All the maintenance has to be done right at the right time, and sometimes you just don't find time. Anyways, educate yourself, watch YouTube videos, and just try it. Make sure that whatever you do is safe, first of all. Don't get yourself under a vehicle with only a floor jack supported. This thing will fall on you, and then you will end up in the hospital or in the morgue. Be careful. Whatever you do, educate yourself properly. Apply some safety rules. Wear safety equipment, ear protection, eye protection. And if you are a teenager, a young adult, and you're getting ready to embark on your lifelong career, consider trades. Consider vocational education. It taught me so much. I'm not working in a trade anymore. I'm just a hobby mechanic. But it gives you so much usable knowledge that, all those highly educated people with 2 master degrees and a PhD in physics, they couldn't for their life replace a faucet in their kitchen. it's vocational education in my mind is really, really important. If you have a country, an economy that depends on manufacturing, like here in the States, you have to have qualified people to build the stuff. You cannot just use a computer and a CAD system and draw up fancy things. You have to have the people that can build it and assemble it and maintain it and service it and all that good stuff. And if you don't have those people, your product's not going to turn out. You can have the fanciest blueprints for it. It's not going to turn out if you don't have the people to put it together properly. And in countries where a trade is considered something honorable or, not looked down upon, you have good products. Like in Japan, they put great things together. They, in the electronic field, they used to be the place to go to for electronics back in the 80s and 90s. And then, of course, cheap competition from China. They're just great in copying everything. And, the products in China are getting better and better because the companies finally realize that they have to have quality assurance departments to make sure products turn out. But Japan was world renowned for their electronics. Made in Germany, this meant something. Maybe it still means something, has gotten worse because a lot of German companies are now also producing overseas. It's just cheaper and whatnot. They try to apply the same quality assurance principles at other places. Let's say an example, VW has manufacturing plants all over the world. They have in Brazil and Mexico, and they try to run it the same way as they would do that in Wolfsburg, Germany, where initially all the bugs were produced. But it's just not the same. If you want good quality, you have to have properly trained technicians to do it. And you can only accomplish that if you have a proper set up education system for that. And education, I mean practical education as well. Like I mentioned, in Germany, it's the way that for any trade, like even if you work in a bakery as the salesperson standing behind a counter full of bread, if you are the person selling it, this person has been trained to know everything and anything about that particular job. They know the business aspect of it. They know how the bread is made, what it is made of, the different grains and flours and yeast and whatnot. They know everything there is to know about this piece of bread that they are selling. And they get a 3-year training for that at the job and in school. And at the end, you have this big exam. And once you pass that exam, you get a certificate. They are not a certified bread sales rep. It's something else. It's called, it's more like a business-oriented kind of deal, but in a bakery setting. So they are an expert in what they are selling you. Same thing with hairstylists. It's standardized all across the country that every hairstylist gets the same training. They know exactly how to do a perm and a dyeing hair and cutting hair and all the techniques and all the tools and the business aspect of running a salon and all that stuff. So just a few examples. Car mechanics. You can go to a car mechanic in the far north or in the far south, and they have gotten exactly the same training. And then, of course, there's brand-specific stuff that they have to learn once they start working at a dealership. Test equipment and specific problems with vehicle X, Y, and Z. But the basic education for those guys for 3.5 years is the same. You should see a construction carpenter, like we would call him, maybe a roofer or general contractor. What they have to go through, 3.5 or 4 years of hard training at the job site and in school. They know everything there is to know about a piece of lumber, how to cut it, how to transport it, safety, again, some business aspect of it, technical communication with drawings and blueprints and whatnot. There is not so much on-the-job training. Yeah, there is on-the-job training, of course. They have to, pay their dues and whatnot, but there is also the backing of schooling, so they know everything there is to know. Anyways, now I'm just rambling. What I'm saying is, if you are a young person and you are about to start out in 2018 with your career and you have no real perspective on what should I do, and do I go to college and then get a degree, and then maybe I don't ever use this degree ever again. And you know, it's here in the States, it's so driven towards higher education. You have to have higher education or people are going to look at you funny because you are uneducated. You know, there's so many educated people out there sitting on the street or working low income jobs because with their psychology degree, they can't really find a job, or they have a degree in geology, or you name it. I mean, there's so many degrees out there that you can get. Yeah, of course, they make you a more educated person in that one field. They maybe teach you how to study hard and read books and write reports and how to, be a research scientist. But they don't allow you to earn a living, and ultimately that's what it comes down to. Vocational education, it's giving you so much, and it's I want to say it's cross-compatible. If you are trained in one trade, you have the tools and skills to learn any other trade as well. So as long as you are in the field, you learn so much. Find yourself a good school for that type of trade, get a good training, and then make a living. There are welders out there, they make $150,000, $200,000 a year. It's not dependent on a college degree. Like I said, this economy, manufacturing minded, has to have a workforce that is educated.
My quadcopter is done.
Yeah? Okay, Ollie, I'm making a video. I'll be up there, okay?
Okay.
Bye. Yeah, lots of kids in the house. 3 kids in the house. Always interruptions. It's almost like perfect timing every time I start a video. Anyways, guys, 2018 coming up. We're Christmas 2017. A new year, a new chance for your career. If you hate your job sitting in a cubicle, maybe you want to try something else. Maybe you want to go out and completely change your life and start homesteading. One of my dreams is doing exactly that, but it's not going to happen. Once you have an established life and you have a certain outlook or expectation on your life and your income and comforts and whatnot, yeah, I admire people that can change that from one day to another. I probably won't, because the wife has to agree and the kids are in school and all that stuff. But don't get discouraged by outlook on jobs and career. Try something new, try something different, try something more simple. Not everybody can be a scientist, research scientist in the whatever, biology or chemistry. Try something simple. Go out prospecting, drill for oil, or become a carpenter. Something that you can look at the work that you have accomplished and be proud of yourself. That's why I have this hobby, working on stuff, because you can make things tick and work and run and come back to life. Something completely cruddy and nasty and rotted, and you can fix it. Use your welder and your tools and your skills and make something out of it. I love it just as a hobby, and I will never give up on this. It's very gratifying. And you got to find this little thing for yourself, whatever it is. Collecting stamps, maybe that makes you happy. Or having a book collection, or I don't know. My kids like slot car racing. Maybe that's something for you. Anyways, yeah. Greetings from Gardnerville, Nevada. Pretty cold outside. here in my garage. It's pretty cold as well. Sitting here in t-shirt. Actually, I wanted to show you that t-shirt for all you VW guys out there. I don't know if you've seen this. The life of a VW owner. I don't know if you can read all this, but you know, like everything that revolves around VWs, making money for it, being frustrated and all that good stuff. The cycle of life of a VW owner. All right, guys, I don't want to keep going much longer. You guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and keep up the good work and stay motivated in your job, and keep going and keep subscribing and liking those videos. Thank you. Take care. Bye.